You have already seen this happen. Someone in your organization, not the most technically skilled person, not the hardest working, not the one whose output would survive. The closest examination is making moves you cannot fully explain. Their name keeps appearing in contexts that matter. They get invited into conversations about the direction of things before those conversations become official. When a significant opportunity surfaces, their candidacy seems to have already been established before the announcement was made. They are not more qualified than you. In some measurable respects, they are less qualified than you. And yet the distance between where they are headed and where you are currently sitting grows more visible every quarter. You have a theory about how this works. The theory involves politics, flattery, a willingness to compromise things you have chosen not to compromise, an ability to perform for an audience that you either cannot or will not match. The theory is comfortable because it keeps the explanation outside of you. It means the gap is a character gap on their side rather than a knowledge gap on yours. That theory is wrong, and carrying it is costing you more than you realize. I am Jackson. And what I want to show you in this video is the actual mechanism behind what you have been watching, the hidden power move that determines who advances in almost every professional environment, why most high performers never see it clearly enough to use it, and what changes the moment you understand it precisely, rather than just resenting it from a distance. Before we get into it, if this channel has been showing you the structural reality behind professional life, rather than the version you were told in orientation, please subscribe right now. These videos are built for people who want to understand how things actually work. Subscribe. It genuinely matters to what we are building here. Here is the concept that reframes everything else. Every organization, regardless of its size, its industry, or its stated values, runs on decisions made by human beings working from incomplete information. Budgets get allocated, projects get assigned, promotions get offered, opportunities get extended in specific directions. And in every single one of those moments, the person making the decision is not reviewing your output data. They are not reading your performance metrics with the same granularity you produce them. They are working from a mental model, a compressed, socially assembled picture of who you are, what you are capable of, and whether you are the right person for what they need next. That picture is not your performance review. It is not the quality of the work you submitted last week, or the deadline you met last month, or the problem you solved that nobody else on the team could have handled. It is a simplified, constantly updated impression, assembled from dozens of partial signals, your name coming up in a conversation you were not in, the way you framed a question in a room where someone senior happened to be paying attention, a reputation that has traveled between people who have never directly worked alongside you. This is the hidden power move. Not manipulation, not flattery, not performing for an audience. The deliberate, ongoing management of the signals that build the picture the organization holds of you at the level where decisions about your future get made. You are sending signals right now. Every day, every interaction, every room you walk into, and every room you are absent from. You did not choose to start. You cannot choose to stop. The only variable available to you is whether the signals you are sending are deliberate or accidental. Whether the picture being assembled at the decision-making level is one you have shaped or one that formed in your absence, from the conversations that shaped it. Let me show you exactly how the picture gets built, because understanding the mechanism is what makes it actionable. The people with the authority to advance your career cannot hold a detailed, accurate picture of every person operating 2 levels below them. The cognitive and informational load of that would be impossible to sustain at scale. What they hold instead are proxies, simplified representations built from the fragments of you that have reached them. A name that surfaced when a problem needed solving. A perspective that reframed a conversation at the right moment. A reputation assembled from second-hand impressions held by people whose own observations are incomplete. The quality and richness of that proxy determines almost everything about your career trajectory that you do not directly control through raw performance. A rich proxy one assembled from multiple genuine interactions, from a reputation that has reached the decision-making level through several independent channels. From moments where your thinking became visible in rooms where direction was being set, that proxy is a promotion candidate. A thin proxy one built exclusively from clean deliverables handed upward through your immediate manager is a reliable resource. And here is the specific, documented pattern in how organizations treat reliable resources. They use them, they depend on them, they protect them in place. They do not advance them, because advancing them would remove the reliability from where it currently sits and create the risk of losing it entirely. You have built yourself into indispensability at your current level. And indispensability, in most organizational structures, is a ceiling rather than a ladder. There is a concept in organizational sociology that names this precisely: the visibility-credibility gap, the measurable distance between how capable you actually are and how capable the organization perceives you to be, at the level where perception drives decisions. This gap is nearly universal. It runs in both directions. Some people are perceived as significantly more capable than their output justifies, and many people, more than most organizations would admit, are perceived as far less capable than they actually are. Performance alone does not close this gap. Only visibility work closes it. Now let me show you what visibility work actually looks like in practice, because most people hear this concept and immediately imagine something that it is not. It does not look like self-promotion. It does not look like learning to say the right things to the right people, or constructing a personal brand, or becoming someone who talks more about their work than they do. The difference between the person deploying this effectively and the person playing politics in the cynical sense is not the method. It is the motive and the authenticity behind it. Visibility work looks like asking a genuine question of a senior leader after a presentation, not a question designed to demonstrate your knowledge, but one that reflects real curiosity about where the organization is going. It looks like sharing a relevant insight with someone outside your immediate team because the insight is genuinely useful to them, not because you have calculated the reputational return. It looks like being present in the conversations where direction is being set, rather than only in the conversations where work is being executed. It looks like being known for how you think rather than only for what you deliver, for the quality of your judgment about things larger than your current role, rather than the quality of your output within it. The people doing this effectively are not performing. They are genuinely participating in the organization at a level that their job description does not require. And that participation builds a proxy that their output alone, however excellent, could never build. Because output tells the organization what you can do at your current level. Presence in the right rooms, at the right moments, tells the organization what you are capable of, thinking about the level above. Here is the pattern that stalls most high performers, and it is specific enough that you will either recognize yourself in it immediately or recognize someone you know. They've invested everything in one category of signal. The work is technically beyond question. The deadlines are met. The reliability is the kind that makes their name the first one mentioned when something difficult needs handling. They have built an identity around being the person who comes through, and that identity is genuine. And it is earned, and it is respected by everyone who works alongside them. What they have not built are the signals that the level above them is actually listening for. Not competence signals, leadership signals. Signals that say, this person's thinking operates at the next level, not just the current one. Signals that say, this person understands where this organization is going, not just where it currently is. Signals that say this person is ready for a different kind of responsibility, not just more of the same kind. Those signals cannot travel through deliverables. They require presence in rooms where deliverables are not the primary currency. And being excellent enough at the current level that stepping back from it even partially feels like abandonment, that is the specific trap. The ceiling is not built by their failures. It is built by the completeness of their investment in the dimension that stopped determining advancement the moment they became excellent at it. The move that changes this is not dramatic. It does not require becoming a different kind of person or compromising anything about how you work. It requires redirecting a portion of your attention and energy from the execution level to the strategic level, asking the question that connects your work to something larger rather than reporting what was completed. Being in conversations about direction rather than only conversations about delivery. Building genuine relationships with people whose decisions shape the environment rather than only people whose work intersects with yours day to day. The organization cannot promote a picture it does not hold, and the picture it holds is not built by your output alone. It is built by every signal you have ever sent into the organization, deliberately or by default. The person you have been watching advances the one whose output does not justify it, whose technical skill does not explain it. They understood this earlier than you did. They are not more talented. They are not less principled. They simply started managing their signals before you understood that signals were being managed. The gap is not closed by working harder at the work. It is closed by working deliberately at the picture. Start now. The rest follows. If this gave you something real today, please subscribe. This channel is built for people who want to understand the mechanisms behind professional life, not just the surface description of them. Every subscriber makes it possible to keep making these videos. I will see you in the next one. I am Jackson.